Our mailbag segment is back, ladies and gentlemen. If this is your first time watching, we do this once a week, and these all come from our live shows on Wednesday evening. You ask me questions, I give you answers. Anything you want to know on the Baltimore Ravens, whether it's free agency rumors, trade rumors, record predictions, whatever it is, I got you covered right here on today's episode. Before I get to your questions, I got one for you, though. Will the Ravens make the playoffs? We've had some internal debate here at my chat sports amongst my coworkers. Some say no, some say yes. I want to hear where you lie. Give me your vote down below in the comment section, but give me a yes or a no. I'm curious to see how positive you guys are. Sasquatch 16 with our first question today. What edge is a realistic edge option? I would try to package Andrews and picks for someone, but who? I think that Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips are realistic options at the edge rusher position. I believe on Wednesday they placed Darren Waller on IR, meaning he's not going to be playing for the next couple of weeks. I know they probably don't need a tight end right now because they're about to do a fire sale of pretty much everything with how bad that season has gone in Miami and just with the outlook of their future over their next couple of weeks and the fact that Mike McDaniel probably won't be a head coach there 14 days from now. Regardless, they got two edge rushers that they very much have on the trade block and very much have interest from pretty much everybody around the National Football League. That's Bradley Chubb. That's Jalen Phillips. I don't mind either of them. I think both of them would help you. I think both of them would bring a great attitude. Both of them have loads of talent. Bradley Chubb has 4 sacks. Jalen Phillips has 20 pressures. And they both play on a defensive line that's not very good at all, okay? I know your defense line isn't very good at all. You could use the help. You could use them. I also think that there might be some edges out there that don't feel like they're on the trade block right now until you could go out and offer them something big, which I would love if the Ravens personally did that. Azeez Ojulari wouldn't cost you a ton. I believe he's on the trade block for the Eagles. And if you package something with Mark Andrews, I think they would like that. Rich Strobel coming in next. Do you think you could package Faalele with Andrews in a trade? If so, I think they would have gotten a better trade last spring. What do you think? Yes and yes. I do think you could package Faalele with Andrews in a trade because Faalele, we all know he's very, very bad. But there's also some teams that maybe think they could fix him. And he's been a starting right guard for the last 7 weeks in the National Football League and for all of last season. So I still do think you could package him and Andrews. Now, should you package him and Andrews? No, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to up the trade value a ton. But I also do agree with your statement that they should have and would have gotten a better trade last spring. They 1,000% would have. And that's why I was pounding the table for a Mark Andrews trade every single day since your season ended in Buffalo. And it wasn't just because of the drop and the fumble against the Bills. That was part of it. I'm going to be honest with you. But I also knew you could save $11 million in trading away Mark Andrews. And I knew he was getting older. And I knew you had Isaiah Likely. It was just so obvious to make that move, in my opinion. And I got called stupid. I got called an idiot. I got called not a real Ravens fan. And now everybody and their mom is saying, man, we should have traded Mark Andrews. Well, yeah, maybe if you would have listened to me, it could have happened, and you would have gotten a much better return on it back then than you would right now. Kanye Unreleased is next as I itch my eye. How about a trade for Quentin Nelson? We need better guards, in my opinion. Emory Jones Jr. might not be ready yet. Emory Jones Jr. won't be ready for the next couple of weeks, probably next month and a half, unfortunately. Quentin Nelson, I think, would be an awesome addition, especially with given how bad your guards have been. But if you look at the Colts, they right now are the top team in the AFC. They are the number 1 seed. Do you think they're letting go of their all-pro guard? They're not. I can promise you that. If this was the Colts of last year, where it felt like they were sellers at this point in the season, maybe you could have gotten them. But this version of the Colts is very different. They're going to be buyers, if anything. They will not be looking to get rid of Quentin Nelson. I'd love the addition. Fortunately, it's just not very feasible. Candyman coming in next. Will the Ravens sign Asante Samuel Jr.? Maybe. I don't know. I think it all depends on his health. We know he got a CAT scan a couple of weeks ago. That was coming in October. So I think you just got to wait on the reports of how those tests ended up. If they ended up positive and the fact that he could be back playing football this year, I wouldn't be shocked if the Baltimore Ravens inquired about him. But if they came back negative, then they're not going to do anything about it. But I do believe he's got some good football left in him. He's young. He's a good coverage corner. I believe that's what you need right now. Marlon Humphrey's not impressing me. Lord knows Jerry Alexander's not impressing me. And so if he's healthy, Asante Samuel Jr. might. Should the Ravens sign Asante Samuel Jr.? Let me know. Make the call for me, yes or no, in the comment section down below. We got more questions coming up real soon. But while you're answering this, I got to tell you about our awesome friends at Prize Picks. If you download the Prize Picks app right now and use our code that we give to you guys, you get $50 in lineups. All you got to do is play your first $5 lineup. You and I make decisions every single day, but being right on Prize Picks can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks where it's good to be right. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Josh Allen's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? You can now pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. Follow other players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. We got a big weekend of college football coming up, and I know you guys know I'm a massive college football fan. Feeling a little pessimistic this weekend on these 2 quarterbacks. Give me the less on each of them. Passing yards, 219.5 for Marcel Reed, 220.5 for Arch Manning. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Next question, coming up from Nova Light. I really have faith in the defense, though. After that Rams game, they looked pretty good, even with Roquan Smith and Metabike out. So they did look good against the Rams game. And I'm not here to rain on that parade. I'm not, Nova Light. I am here to be a little bit more realistic. And I've given this analogy a lot. Okay? I gave it on Wednesday. I gave it the Monday after the Rams game. I don't want to buy into this defense just yet. You see it all the time on movies. That douchebag boyfriend that wears the leather jacket, that drives the convertible, cheats on the girlfriend 10 times. Girlfriend keeps forgiving him. Because guess what? After the 10th time, he brings her flowers, tells her I'm sorry, tells her it's never going to happen again. Right now, we, us Ravens fans, are said girlfriend. The Ravens defense is said douchebag. Over the last 6 weeks, they've continually cheated on us by letting up 50 points a game. Well, that Rams game was the flowers and the apology. Now, that might be real. Said douchebag might change. But they might not. So I'm not buying into it just yet. If they stack these games, I'll start to buy into it. But just one apology you're giving me, just one game you're showing me, forget that. I'm not buying it. Lil Bryson, coming up next. Do you think the Ravens will improve on defense? Speaking of the defense, I think they will because, let's be honest, is there anywhere to go but up? I don't know how much improvement they're going to get. I think a lot of us are expecting an improvement like we got last year, where this team turned from one of the worst defenses in the NFL the first 10 weeks. Last 7 weeks, they were one of the best defenses in the National Football League. I don't see that in this team's future. You don't have good enough edge rushers. You don't have good enough depth on the interior of that defensive line. I think Roquan, even though he wasn't great last year, I think he's taken even a further step back this year. So no, I don't think you improve that much, but I do think you get better because it's kind of impossible not to. Hopefully something clicks with the rookies and Mike Green and Malachi Starks, and if so, it's going to help you out a ton. Ravens 76B more asks, is Pat Ricard playing? From the looks of it, at the current recording of this video, he is. And that will be massive. Oh my gosh, I can't even state how big that would be for this team. Pat Ricard, I think, means more to this roster, more to this offense's success than any of us anticipated. And you could see it over the last 6 weeks, how much of an impact his absence has on this run game, especially in short yardage situations. So I hope that he's playing. What scheme do you think the Ravens use more, 4-3 or 3-4, because they need to shift more on the line? I think 3-4. They're base 3-4. I don't see them going to 4-3 because, yeah, they need to sack the quarterback more. 4-3 kind of gives you a little bit more pressure on the quarterback than a 3-4 does. But with a 3-4, you're better in run defense and you're better in pass coverage, which they're bad at that as well. So I think they stay 3-4 unless they want to shift things up entirely, but I don't see that happening. Conway Lover, last question. Should the Ravens trade Isaiah Likely? No. No, they should. If they're going to trade a tight end, it should be Mark Andrews. It should not be Isaiah Likely. I still believe in Isaiah Likely as being the future of this position for the Baltimore Ravens. Didn't help that he was hurt at the beginning of this year. It's been a little bit slow coming back. That's not his fault, okay? I do think towards the end of this year, we're going to see a totally new Isaiah Likely. We're going to see an Isaiah Likely that we've only seen once before, and that was in that game against the Kansas City Chiefs, week 1 of the 2024 season. But trading Isaiah Likely, I have absolutely zero interest in doing that unless you can get something back that's like unbelievable that you're like, okay, we'll trade him and just keep Mark Andrews, but I'd have to see what that offer is. What would you do with Isaiah Likely? T for trade, K for keep. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm typing T for trade if I am you. Also, if I'm you, I'm following me on social media. I can't because that's impossible to follow yourself, but we appreciate you guys for whoever's followed me on there as well already. I talk Ravens daily, Instagram, more family stuff. If you want to see my wife, if you want to see my dog, if you want to see what my life looks outside of sports, outside of work, that's great to see it right there. And if you're not subscribed, you have to change that today. You got to change that right now. All it takes is a click of a button. A lot of you think you're subscribed, and you're probably not. Just check. And if you are, great. Make sure your parents are subscribed too. Steal your sister's phone, your brother's phone, your grandma's phone. I don't care. Do me a solid. Subscribe to the channel.